up, what up, what up? Hey. Yeah. What's good, y'all? Y'all already know what it is, man. About to get this shit popping off, man. Y'all like the setup, though? Fucking around in this new program and shit, though. About to definitely get into some shit, though. You know what I'm saying? Let me go ahead and chop this music right quick. Yes, sir, man. Welcome to the 4.FAKALAHA Record Podcast, but really it's just 4.FAKALAHA Podcast. And, got a nice topic for y'all today and shit, man. The topic is, why do people get married, man? Instead of just, you know what I'm saying, just sticking it out and just riding the wave and stuff, you know what I'm saying? For the most part, hold on, let me move this out the way. Hold on. Let me bring that right there. Hold on, y'all. Trying to fix this shit. Alright. Where my main picture at? Oh yeah, but for the most part though, man, I think people should just be more like filling each other out as friends and then just start being in a relationship. I just think that marriage is one big money scheme, money grab, or whatever you want to call it. Let me bring that back. Trying to find my main, damn, did it go in there? Oh, that's why. Oh. All right, there we go. Damn, my fault, y'all. But yeah, though, like I said, it's just one big money scheme and shit, one big money grab and all that and shit. If y'all don't believe me and take my word for it, I got some videos for y'all to watch and stuff, and we could definitely check this out. So my fault, I just had to get some little things together, though. Also, y'all could check me out on all them little sites and shit on my Twitch, if y'all game a lot and such, and a couple of other sites as well, though. Without further ado, man, let's get into these videos, and then we'll comment with this shit as well, though. So let's get into this shit. All right, let's bring up this right here, though.
It's tempting to think of marriage as old-fashioned. Why not just live with someone and be done with it? What need for a public ceremony? Why the weird traditions, all those churches, temples, hymns, vows and prayers? Marriage must be a silly relic from the religious childhood of humankind, not designed for the more logical modern world. And yet, it survives. The essence of marriage is to tie our hands, to frustrate our wills.
Let me know if y'all can hear that.
Costly obstacles in the way of splitting up. Why do we do this? Originally, we told ourselves that God wanted us to stay married, but even now, when God is not invoked, we keep making sure that marriage is rather hard to undo. For one thing, you carefully invite everyone you know to watch you say you'll stick together. You willingly create a huge layer of embarrassment were you ever to turn around and admit it might have been a mistake. Furthermore, even though you could keep things separate, marriage tends to mean deep economic and legal entanglements. You know it's going to take the work of a phalanx of accountants and lawyers to prise you apart. It could be done, but it will be ruinous. It's as if we somewhere recognize that there might, rather strangely, be some quite good, though uncomfortable reasons why making it difficult to split up a union can be an advantage for its members. The marshmallow test was a celebrated experiment in the history of psychology, designed to measure children's ability to delay gratification and track the consequences of being able to think long-term. Some 3-year-old children were offered a marshmallow, but told they would get 2 if they held off from eating the first one for 5 minutes. It turned out a lot of children just couldn't make it through this period. It was too tempting. The less immediate benefit of gobbling the marshmallow in front of them was stronger than the strategy of waiting. Crucially, it was observed that these children went on to have lives blighted by a lack of impulse control and fared much worse than the children who were best at subordinating immediate fun for long-term benefit. Relationships are perhaps no different. Here too, many things feel very urgent. We're angry and want to get out. We're excited by a new person and need to abandon our present partner at once. And yet, as we look around for the exit, every way seems blocked. It would cost a fortune. It would be embarrassing. It would take an age. This isn't a coincidence. Marriage is a giant inhibitor of impulse, set up by our conscience to keep our libidinous, ungrateful, wild, desiring selves in check. What we're essentially buying into by submitting to its dictates is the insight that we are, as individuals, likely to make very poor choices under the sway of strong short-term impulses. To marry is to recognize that we require structure to insulate us from our urges. It's to lock ourselves up willingly because we don't trust ourselves. It's a very unusual marriage indeed, in which the two people don't spend a notable amount of time fantasizing that they weren't in fact married. But the point of marriage is to make these feelings not matter very much. It's an arrangement that protects us from what we desire, and yet know, in our more reasonable moments, we don't truly need or even perhaps want. At their best, relationships involve us in attempts to develop, mature, and become whole. We often get drawn to people precisely because they promise to edge us in the right directions. But it's too easy to seem kind and normal when we keep going out with someone new. The truth about us, on the basis of which self-improvement begins, only becomes clear over time. Chances of development increase hugely when we don't keep running away to people who will falsely reassure us there's nothing too wrong with us. Over time, the argument for marriage has shifted. It's no longer about external forces having power over us. What we are correctly now focused on is the psychological point of making it hard to throw it all in. For the last 50 years, the burden of intelligent effort has been on attempting to make separation easier. The challenge now lies in another direction, in trying to remind ourselves why immediate flight doesn't always make sense, in trying to see the point of holding out for the second marshmallow.
That's crazy though, man, that he would say that and stuff. Cause on top of that though, man, hold on right quick, let me on top of that, it's just crazy though that most people hold on, damn, what? Okay. Hold on right quick. For the most part, marriage is like almost like a trap for real. Most people don't realize that though. It almost costs as much to be divorced than to be married for real though. You know what I'm saying? And I do say that most people do stick with marriage and stuff for the wrong reasons and shit, man. Cause I could never put myself in a predicament where it's almost like you signing your wealth and your life on the line and shit. It got some type of benefits, but overall, the benefits don't outweigh the end results, though. You know what I'm saying? Let's get into another video and stuff right quick. Hold on. Let's get into this video. All right. Hold on right quick. Where that video at? All right, here go another video on marriage as well, though.
Fewer and fewer men are looking to get married these days. The Pew Research Institute recently found that the number of men ages 18 to 34 saying that having a successful marriage is one of the most important things dropped from 35% to 29% since 1997. The number of young adult women saying the same thing has risen from 28% to 37% in the same time. This statistic made me wonder why so many guys out there are saying they don't want to get married. There seems to be a growing subculture of guys who say they'd rather avoid it altogether. I grew up thinking that marriage is just what you do when you hit a certain age. Now I'm questioning it. Why do we get married? Where did the tradition come from? And what are the pros and cons? This video will aim to answer these questions and see how marriage fits into modern day culture. But first, let's take a quick look at the history of marriage. The first humans, who lived about 5 million years ago, had very little use for marriage. Using the behavior of bonobos as the basis for how early humans would have behaved, it is presumed that early males and females had sex with many partners. They lived in open, polyamorous communities where food was exchanged for sexual favors. Because females could collect food, fruits, nuts, and insects, while still caring and protecting their babies, males were not needed as protectors or providers. This meant that neither partner gained from being in a committed pair. As the climate heated up, the forests receded and humans ventured out into the savanna. We began walking upright, hunting with tools, and our brains got bigger. Our large brain size is the reason human babies are born so helplessly early and require constant care from their mothers. During the period of 1.8 million to 23,000 years ago, survival was hard, and the offsprings that had the best chance to reach adulthood were those that had two parents that worked together to raise and protect them. This survival strategy gave birth to the first marriages. These were not quite like the marriages we imagine today. Couples in this period would stay together for about 3 or 4 years before one or the other would wander off to start another family. Perhaps this is why divorce rates peak between 3 to 4 years in modern-day marriages. Relationship dynamics completely changed when humans began to grow their own food. Agriculture meant that humans were permanently tied to the land. The most productive household arrangements were ones in which men and women divided their tasks. Men who were physically stronger worked the land, while women stayed closer to home and cared for children. This is the era in which marriage became a lifelong union between two people that was recognized by their community. Agriculture tied people to their land, meaning that at the end of the 4-year period, neither men nor women had any inclination to wander off and find a new family. And so they stayed together and worked as a unit to feed and care for their children. The creation of marriage as a legal contract between men and women came into being over time as communities settled and monogamous relationships became a necessity for a long, productive life. So the real origin of marriage came from the biological desire of both men and women to see their children survive. It was the evolutionary dominant strategy. In the last few thousand years, marriage became less about a survival strategy and more about a way to control power. It became a tool to strengthen alliances, maintain wealth, solidify social class, control female sexuality, and fulfill religious duties. Arranged marriages were the norm around much of the world up until the mid-20th century. So now most of us watching this live in a society filled with abundance. We are at the top of the food chain, we don't have to defend ourselves from saber-toothed tigers anymore. Many of us are not strictly religious or rural farmers. Our parents aren't arranging us, and we don't need to form alliances between kingdoms like in Game of Thrones. So you may be wondering, why are we still getting married? We no longer need the institution of marriage to ensure the survival of our species. Life doesn't have to be a conveyor belt of common events where you graduate at this age, start a family at that age, and retire at this age. These are ideas that many millennials are discovering, and is a primary cause of the steady decline in new marriages each year, about 5%. It's beginning to be seen by many as an outdated, restricting institution that's simply not worth it. People keep getting married at older ages. In the 1960s, over half of Americans under 30 were married. The average age of marriage for a woman was about 20, and the average age for men was 23. Today, only 20% of people under 30 are married, and the average age for women is 26 and a half, and for men is nearly 29. So let's take a look at some of the pros and cons
That's
of modern
crazy,
day
man.
marriage. First, the pros. Marriage is the ultimate showcase of commitment, an unbreakable love bond through sickness and health. But there are numerous legal, financial, social, and health advantages to getting hitched. The legal benefits. A married couple is seen as a single taxable unit in the eyes of the government. In most cases, this will save money on taxes when you claim your spouse as a dependent. There are estate planning benefits, including inheritance rights. Government benefits in receiving Social Security, Medicare, and disability benefits for your spouse. Employment benefits such as obtaining health insurance through your spouse's employer, and the right to take medical leave to care for a spouse who becomes ill. Decision-making benefits, including the right to make medical decisions if your spouse is
That should all
incapacitated.
be the same,
Consumer
whether you're married
benefits,
or not.
such as family rates for health, homeowners, auto, and other types of insurance. Financial benefits. A 2005 study at The Ohio State University found that after getting married, people saw a sharp increase in their level of wealth. After 10 years of marriage, the couples reported an average net worth of around $43,000. Single people at the same age had a net worth of only $11,000. However, people who got divorced were worse off than any other group. After a divorce, the average man was left with $8,500 in assets, while the average divorced woman had only $3,400. Health benefits. Research has continued to show that married people live longer. The stability of a long marriage can act as a support structure throughout life. When one spouse is weak, the other gives care. Happily wedded patients who undergo major surgery are more than 3 times as likely to still be alive 15 years later when compared to their unmarried counterparts.
Damn.
There are also many perceived social benefits. Married people appear to be more stable, committed, and reliable. Having a long-standing marriage shows the world that at least someone can tolerate you. In the history of America, there have only been 2 unmarried presidents. The last one was Grover Cleveland in 1886, and he got married shortly into his first term. So a successful marriage can certainly lead to a happy, healthy, long life. Now, here are some of the cons. Let's start with the wedding.
Shit.
Sure, they're fun, and we all like cake, but the average wedding costs about $30,000.
Yikes.
Over a third of married couples go into debt to pay off the big day, and half of those newlyweds are still paying the tab 5 years later. Chances are, by the time you're finished paying off your wedding, it will be time to start paying for your divorce. Roughly half of all marriages in the U.S. end in divorce.
Wow.
This is another big reason millennials don't see the value in marriage anymore. Why start something if it's probably going to fail? Much of the millennial generation grew up with single or divorced parents. Their entire youth was back and forth between bickering parents, overhearing never-ending conversations of legal disputes and custody battles. Another huge factor contributing to men's disinterest in marriage is the fact that marriage isn't what it used to be. 100 years ago, having a wife meant having someone who would raise your kids, clean your house, and cook your meals. This may not be an ideal dynamic for everyone, but men used to have much to gain from getting married.
Right.
Now there are more women than men in the workforce, and more women than men have college degrees. Much like the bonobos, many women today no longer need a man to provide for them, and they're not interested in being a homemaker. There seems to be a direct correlation between the liberation of women and the decline in men seeking marriage. In areas where women are highly educated and career-oriented, the marriage rates are the lowest. Although marriage rates continue to decline, both men and women agree that parenting is still a high priority. 52% of millennials say that being a good parent is one of the most important things in life, while only 29% assign high importance to getting married. This shows that millennials don't think that they necessarily need to be married in order to have a family. Many are choosing to avoid the headache and create a love bond and raise kids on their own terms. There are plenty of legal alternatives to getting married, like a domestic partnership, civil union, or creating a will. The truth is, you can have just about all the benefits of marriage without actually getting married.
Thank
You can have a lifelong partner who supports your goals. You can have a soulmate.
Yes.
You can have a family,
Yes.
a shared home,
Yes.
financial wealth, and good health
Yes.
without the state-mandated license.
Yes.
So maybe those bonobos had it right all along. Do your own research. Assess your own goals and list your priorities. If your goal is to travel the world and check out the Tinder scene in every city, then maybe marriage isn't right for you. That's okay. Do not pressure yourself. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up or tell us your thoughts in the comments section.
Oh my goodness, that was good. Hold on, down. Where we at here? All right. But yeah, that was a good one though, man. I ain't gonna cap though. These are my color panels. Hold on. Let's see something here. Okay. All right. Like I said, for the most part though, man, that was a good couple of episodes about marriage and shit in general. The main thing about that though, for real, I don't think people should get married though. Like I said, you signing a contract. Whenever did you have to sign a contract to be with somebody, let alone break up with somebody if you don't feel like you want to be with them no more? You can have the same benefits, the same ring on your finger, the same everything without that contract, without that marriage shit and all that. You can have a big party saying that it's our anniversary that we met again and shit. Like, you can always have that. Like, why get married though, man? Marriage to me is almost like somebody saying, I got you, bitch, or I got you now, nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they got you. Like, ain't no breaking up now. Ain't no leaving. Ain't nothing happening. Like, and if you think about cheating or doing anything stupid, your ass is mine. Like, so that's crazy, though. I've never been a fan of it. I can never see myself getting married. But I could see myself being with somebody for the rest of my life, though, and shit. Especially if they devoted and down for the cause, though. You know what I'm saying? So, as y'all can see, man, marriage is one big hoodwink. And, don't trust it, man. Be your own man, be your own woman. Have fun. And when you're ready to settle down, just be with that one person for the rest of your life and shit. I'm pretty sure if everything go right, they will be there for you through sickness, through health, to death do y'all part. Like, literally. With that being said, man, y'all join me tonight though, man, when I bring up this about gay marriage. And do people really have a choice of being gay, or is they born gay? Like, y'all let me know in the comments and all that and stuff. And y'all stay tuned for tonight, man. That's gonna be a good one though, man, about gay or being gay in general though. But like I said, y'all listen, learn. Don't get married. Don't get married and don't get hitched so soon, man. Weigh all your options and make sure that person is really the one for you. And if so, you can always give her a ring. You can always throw her some big party to show how much you love her. Like, don't sign no contract, though. Other than that, I'm out of here, y'all. For Kalaha Podcast. See y'all tonight.